Are you tired of dry and bland chicken? Well, you're in luck because I've got 5 tips for you to make the juiciest teriyaki chicken around. And guess what? It's made in the air fryer, so it's quick and easy. Hit that subscribe button and let's get cooking. Aloha mai kako, my name is Relle and welcome to my kitchen where I like to share all my favorite Hawaiian and local recipes. And today we'll be making air fryer teriyaki chicken, and I've got 5 tips for you to make the best, juiciest chicken around. So let's get started. First, we're gonna make the marinade. Teriyaki is such a popular flavor here in Hawaii. You can make teriyaki meatballs, teriyaki burgers, all kinds of things, and I have recipes for those listed in the description box below. You can check that out if you want, along with the full recipe instructions and ingredients for this particular recipe. You can check that out below as well. So first, to make traditional teriyaki sauce, you're gonna need some shoyu. Shoyu is Japanese style soy sauce. You can find that in the Asian aisle at most grocery stores. And then you're gonna need some mirin. Mirin is a Japanese cooking wine. And then a little bit of sake. You can use whatever you want. If you don't have sake, you can replace it with rice wine vinegar. I'm gonna put a little bit less today. And then you're just gonna get that mixed up. So that's the basic teriyaki sauce. But what I like to do to mine is add a little bit of aromatics to it. When you make teriyaki sauce, you could make it like this and store it in the fridge. Leave the aromatics out, it lasts longer. That's why once you put the aromatics in, it doesn't last as long if you're wanting to save any of that. And then you're gonna get some garlic. For me, not garlic, ginger. For me, all I do is just slice it. You can peel it if you want. I cut the end off. Kind of dry this piece. It's been sitting for a little bit. And you're just gonna cut a few slices like this. And then at the very end, you toss that. You can toss, be careful. You can toss that last piece too, if you want. So it's just sliced like this. And you're gonna add that into your teriyaki sauce, like so. And then comes, I'd like to mahalo our sponsor, Fulan Hawaii. All thoughts and opinions are my own, but today we'll be using whole peeled garlic. It's a great quick and easy grab. You don't have to peel it. Fighting with garlic can sometimes be, you know, not so fun. Maika'i line has all kinds of products and you can check it out at your local Foodland. Almost every aisle probably has some kind of Maika'i product, but we like to pick up the garlic sometimes and use it like so. Now, as I say all the time, I like to use a garlic press, and I'll link the one that I have in the description box below. So you can get one if you want. It's just so much easier than trying to dice it up. I don't know. I just don't like big chunks of garlic. Put it in, and then all you have to do is squeeze it. Beautiful, nice little pieces. And then on the last one, you can just use a fork or a knife and just scrape it off. That's the teriyaki marinade. Now, I want you to reserve some of this because we're gonna use it as a glaze to glaze the chicken. We're just gonna pour a little bit back into here. So that'll stay aside. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the chicken. I usually get boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Today at the store, I went this morning and they only had chicken breasts, which also works. Chicken in. And you're just gonna wanna push it down so that everything's covered, and you'll let this marinate. So once the chicken is in the bowl, that's tip number 1, to marinate your chicken. Marinating it gets those flavors to really develop and get into the meat of the chicken. We'll let that sit for a couple of hours and we'll be right back for the next tip and the next part of cooking. All right, chicken has been marinating for a few hours. Now we're gonna get to cooking. So tip number 2, preheat your air fryer and be sure to spray the basket with nonstick cooking spray. Preheating it allows everything to cook evenly, so you wanna make sure you do that, which we've already got it going. We're gonna spray with some nonstick cooking spray so it doesn't stick, because that would be no fun, right? Now, I cut them into bite-sized pieces, but you could totally do them whole, you know, if you wanted. And tip number 3, do not crowd the basket. So you're gonna wanna spread them out so that the air can circulate. It's an air fryer, right? So you want the air to be able to get around the chicken and be able to cook it through. It's okay if some of that sauce drips off, no problem. You wanna try to work fast because you're letting out all the hot air. which when you have small pieces like this, sometimes it's a disadvantage, but that's okay. I've got kids, so it's easier. You could do it whole and then cut them into pieces after if you wanted. It is gonna shrink, so you have a little bit of wiggle room. I know I told you not to crowd it, but I'm gonna make it fit because I don't wanna do one more batch. As long as they're not sitting on top of each other, because then they won't fry very nicely. And honestly, this is a little more full than you probably want to do it. But do as I say, not as I do, right? That's what my mom used to always tell me as a kid. Do as I say, not as I do. Didn't make sense to me as a kid. Now I get it. Alrighty, so after you're done preheating it, 380, we're gonna go for about 15 minutes and flip halfway through. You might have to go a little bit longer or shorter depending on your air fryer. It'll vary, you'll just have to keep an eye on it, okay? And then we'll get that going. Now, for that extra marinade that you saved, what you're gonna do is you're gonna heat it up on the stove top, and we're gonna take a little bit of cornstarch and water. You're gonna add the water to the cornstarch, and that's gonna make it thicken. So this is the cornstarch slurry. And then you'll add that in. And I'm gonna heat this up over the stove, and I'll show you what it looks like later. And it'll be a thick glaze that we can brush over the chicken when we get there. So 15 minutes, flip halfway through, and I'll be right back. All right, we thickened the teriyaki that we reserved the sauce on the stove, so that's good. And it's been cooking for about 7 minutes or so. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it. Ooh, it's already starting to crisp up on that side, as you can see. You're gonna flip it over. It is hot, to be careful when you stick your hand in to the back pieces. You could be smart and pull it out a little bit more. Come on, Relle, get it together. Now what you'll wanna do is take that, see how it's thicker? You're gonna wanna brush it over the top like this. So tip number 4, glaze the chicken, because that gives it that sticky teriyaki sauce flavor all over. And it's okay if some of it drips on there. Alrighty, you can save this for the end if you want, and you'll go ahead and get that going. It'll start right back up. We got a few more minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, all just about done. Ooh, looks great. And you see that glaze on it, how it's just thickened up. You've got a little bit of crispy bits for those folks who like the crispy. Top it with green onions, sesame seeds, serve it with your favorite veggie and a side of rice, and it's a perfect dinner, quick and easy, weeknights. Kids love teriyaki, so it's great. You can do this teriyaki sauce with other proteins if you want. You can even do it on tofu for my vegetarian friends. And that's how you make air fryer teriyaki chicken. If you like this recipe and you want more teriyaki recipes, then check out this video here. And until next time, ahui ho!